What's up, friends? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. Thank you to all of those of you who are new to the channel over the past couple of days. I've appreciated all your support over the last couple of videos. Glad to have you here watching along with me with some great movies. Really excited for the one I'm watching today, Pulp Fiction. This is my first experience with Tarantino, so I don't really know what to expect. I do know that he has a very unique style based off what I've heard, so I'm excited for this to be my introduction to him. Excited to watch through all of his movies later on through the channel. And as far as this movie in particular, I've seen a couple of different clips, just really short few second snippets, and it's all been out of context, so they didn't really mean too much to me. But other than that, I don't know the plot or anything. I know it stars Samuel L. Jackson, and John Travolta, I think, is the other one starring alongside him. But other than those two, I don't know who else is in this movie. Those are the only two I've seen just from the small clips that I've seen. But I'm excited to check it out. If you'd like to watch along with me for the whole movie, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find my full-length reaction to this, as well as all the other stuff on my channel, and be able to vote in polls that help me decide what I watch or react to in the future. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. I do movie and TV show reactions several times a week, and so if you enjoy watching those, definitely consider subscribing, turning on that notification bell so you know when I upload my next videos. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into Pulp Fiction. Interesting. Are both of those definitions going to relate?
Restaurants, on the other hand, you catch with their pants down. They're not expecting to get robbed. Customers sitting there with food in their mouths, they don't know what's going on. 1 minute they're having a Denver omelette, next minute someone's sticking a gun in their face.
I don't know why, but I find this conversation super entertaining. Maybe it's the line delivery or the subject matter, I'm not sure.
I'm ready. Let's do it right now, right here. Come on.
Right. Same as last time, remember?
I like how they just decide to rob a restaurant right there.
Everybody be cool, this is a robbery!
And I'll execute every last one of you!
Alright, well, what an interesting intro. I can already tell he has a very different kind of dialogue style. The dialogue seems to be very packed full of plot or information. I don't know if the whole movie is just going to be fast-paced dialogue like that.
You don't be giving Marcellus Wallace's new bride a foot massage.
You don't think he overreacted?
Have you ever given a foot massage?
Don't be telling me about foot massages. I got my technique down and everything. I don't be tickling or nothing.
This is like adult Seinfeld dialogue. Just feels like it's just talking about nothing. I'm sure there's a purpose to it. Just don't know it yet.
Looks like me and Vincent caught you boys at breakfast. You mind if I try one of yours? This is a tasty burger. You ever had a Big Kahuna burger?
I like his attitude in this.
Why don't you tell my man Vincent where you got your shit hid at?
It's over there.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Snapped on that dude. I don't know if I'm supposed to find some of these lines funny or if they're supposed to be more serious, but I thought his delivery was funny.
We got into this thing with the best intentions, really. I never...
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Whoa, that took quite the turn. Had me thinking this was gonna be a funny thing, and then it turned into really serious stuff real quick.
Alarm man in Inglewood, get your asses down in here.
Quite different from how they looked before.
Right over there taking care of some business.
You looking at something, friend? Ain't my friend, Pluka.
I'm giving you some out of my own private stash. That is what a nice guy I am. I'm out of balloons. Is a baggie all right?
Yeah, that's cool.
I'm not 100% sure what exactly I'm watching so far. His style certainly is different than anything I've watched. Seems to have kind of a chaotic story structure. I feel like so far I've just been watching scenes from different movies that just happen to have the same characters in them.
Vincent, I'm on the intercom.
Where is the intercom? Come on, man, let's go get a steak.
You can get a steak here, Daddy-O. Don't be a...
Oh, after you, kitty cat.
This movie's very peculiar because it's such an untraditional pacing and scene style.
Don't you hate that? Uncomfortable silences. Why do we feel it's necessary to yak about bull in order to be comfortable?
Is that a meta reference to the film?
Pretty smart.
Yeah, I got my moments.
So do you think of something to say?
The question is that a tasty burger?
Husband almost killing another man for touching his wife's feet is something else. Only thing Antoine ever touched in mine was my hand when he shook it. Truth is, nobody knows why Marsalis threw Tony out of that 4-story window except Marsalis and Tony.
With all the dialogue in this film, I feel like it's a test, and I don't know what's going to be on the test, which bit of the dialogue is going to come into play. They got those good moves. This movie is so strange, but not necessarily in a bad way. I feel like I'm not watching anything significant, and I'm just watching random life occurrences, but for some reason I'm entranced by it. Because most things, if nothing significant I feel like happens, I feel like I would just be bored by this point, but I'm not bored. Oh dang, what the freak happened there? She pass out or she dead?
Come on, girl. We're getting out of here. We gotta walk now.
Dang, this movie just has like nothing in particular going on per se for a while, and then all of a sudden something just happens super significant and abruptly.
Get shot! I am if you let me. Hey, someone stop! Well, you stop talking to me. Start talking to her. Shot! Right.
What in the world?
What are you looking for? That girl's gonna die in our carpet. You're never gonna find anything in this mess.
It's gotta be so hard to remember that many lines for a one take.
2.
3.
Oh shoot, it worked. Dang, that moment was so freaking intense. I like the way that moment was filmed too, with the close-ups and just sitting there for a little bit longer before the actual stab. Here's an awkward silence.
I can keep a secret if you can.
Shake on it.
They touched hands just like what she said happened with that other guy.
The way your dad looked at it, this watch was your birthright. So he hid it. In one place he knew he could hide something, his ass. 5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass.
Why is he telling the kid this?
Little man, I give the watch to you.
I would not touch that watch if that was the story behind it. Oh, shoot, what a leap down. I'm impressed they actually captured that in camera.
What is it you want to know?
I want to know what it feels like to kill a
I
man.
couldn't tell you. I didn't know he was dead until you told me he was dead. Now that I know he's dead, you want to know how I feel about it? I don't feel the least bit bad about it.
Ooh, he's a born killer. Is there an overarching story to this movie, or just things happening? Maybe I'll understand it better once the movie's over.
Do you love me?
Very, very much.
Now give her a foot massage to prove it.
So I gotta go back to my apartment and get my watch.
Won't the gangsters be looking for you there?
Gonna die getting this watch, isn't he? Oh, lucky so far. Shouldn't he just be in and out? Why is he hanging around? This dude's seriously making some Pop-Tarts? That's pretty reckless in a situation like this. Oh, no way. What? What? Wait a second. They did not just do that. Whoa, they really just killed off John Travolta in a split second. That was probably the most unexpected thing that could have happened for me. I loved how the Pop-Tarts popping up right before he starts shooting added to that as well. Cool little touch. Well, he certainly subverted my expectations with that sequence. I think that's the only time I've seen a filmmaker kill off a main character just like that, besides the Coen brothers. The fact that this scene is still going on makes me think something else is about to happen. There he is. Yo!
Hold it right there.
This ain't none of your business, mister.
I'm making it my business.
This movie is just insanity. At least this portion of it.
Come on.
Ouch. None of this is going how I anticipated or could have expected. Ugh, that's very uncomfortable to look at.
Well, bring out the gimp.
Is there a person in there?
Yeah.
What is going on in this movie? This got real weird real quick. Nice, the one-hit knockout. After all he's been through, he's still thinking about it. Oh shoot, he's actually gonna try and save him. I guess in a way, if he does save him, then he'll probably not have to run for the rest of his life. Oh man. I know another Tarantino movie is Kill Bill. Is this like a reference to that? When did Kill Bill come out? I know they have a samurai sword in the cover of that. I'm afraid what's behind this door. No, dude. Ugh, I don't want to look at that. Tarantino is one sick puppy.
Step aside, boy.
At least these guys died.
So we cool? Yeah, we cool.
What in the world was that sequence? I feel like that just came completely out of nowhere. And Tarantino was like, hey, let's make everybody watching this feel completely uncomfortable for a good few minutes. Like, sure, Bruce Willis's character, or Butch, he's not getting chased by Marcellus anymore, but surely there was a different way that was less strange that you could have done that. But I mean, it's his directorial choice.
What happened to my Honda?
I'm sorry, baby. I had to crash that Honda. Will you come on now, please?
I had to.
Come on.
I'd knock that off if I was you.
Die, you mother...
Dude missed every shot. Big mistake.
Why didn't you tell us somebody was in a bathroom? Slip your mind?
This guy's dying now too, isn't he?
This was divine intervention. You know what divine intervention is? What happened here was a miracle.
All right, it was a miracle.
Dang, yeah, they are so lucky they didn't die right there.
I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped...
Oh, happening now, man.
Oh, man, I shot Marvin in the face.
Oh my gosh, that was so crazy. Tarantino just loves doing things with no warning.
This some serious gourmet. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some
There he is.
freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right?
I buy the gourmet expensive stuff because when I drink it, I want to taste it. But you know what's on my mind right now? It ain't the coffee in my kitchen.
I don't think I've ever heard Tarantino speak, and this is not the voice that I imagined.
We need to camouflage the interior of the car with quilts and blankets. Jimmy, lead the way. Boys, get to work.
Please would be nice.
Come again?
This guy. Some very interesting personalities in this.
They're dry enough. Toss them their clothes.
Oh, so that's how they end up in those clothes in the other scene.
You know, I'd go for some breakfast. You feel like having breakfast with me?
Cool.
Haha. I was wondering when this was going to come back into play.
Now, whether or not what we experienced was an according to Hoyle miracle is insignificant. I felt the touch of God. God got involved.
But why?
To stop these robbers later in the day. That's my guess. I like how he's just chilling. This isn't anything crazy for him.
What's in the case?
My boss's dirty laundry.
The boss makes you do his laundry? Open it.
Afraid I can't do that.
3.
Okay, Ringo. You win.
Wait, what is it?
Is that what I think it is?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting that it doesn't show us even now.
I think we should be leaving now.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Not exactly sure how I feel about all of that. It's definitely one of the most different movies that I've ever seen. The story structure, the characters, the dialogue, it's nothing like anything else that I've watched, so it's hard to judge it because I have nothing else to base it on. So before I started this post-analysis, I went back to the beginning of the movie just to look at the opening definition for pulp, just to see if it made any more sense in the context of the movie after having watched it. And I guess if I'm interpreting it right, it kind of does, because the first definition, a soft, wet, shapeless mass of material, I guess can kind of relate to the movie in a sense, because it's just a bunch of little snippets of a story just kind of mashed together out of order. And so it's just seen kind of as this big mass of material. Doesn't seem super coherent at first glance, so I don't know if that's the way it's meant to be interpreted or the way he wanted the audience to interpret it. And the second part, talking about a book or a magazine containing lurid material printed on paper, basically just being unpleasant or harsh material, creating an unpleasant or harsh effect, and certainly accomplished that in very many scenes, whether it be the car shooting accidentally, or the accidental car shooting, or the scene that I don't even want to talk about anymore just because of how uncomfortable it was. So it definitely accomplished that. So I guess I can see the meanings from the pulp definition in the beginning. And as a movie overall, I enjoyed it. This is my first time watching a Tarantino film. I don't know if this is his consistent style, if this is how he does all of his movies, but it's definitely by far the most different movie that I've seen, probably, because there's nothing that I can use as a comparison on how to judge it, because it's so out there compared to what I'm used to. Just the scene structure, the dialogue, the chaoticness of it, it's all very different, and so I don't feel like I can properly judge or analyze much about it just because I don't know what I think about it. And for the most part, I did enjoy or was entertained by what I was watching, except the one scene, which just for me, a little bit too weird and uncomfortable for me to find any enjoyment in that. But other than that, I thought the rest of the scenes were engaging. The dialogue was crisp and quick and well written, and I hope that those of you who are watching or still watching at this point, hopefully, can let me know in the comments, explain a little bit more about either the backstory, about his style, maybe what he's going for with this story. Maybe he's not necessarily going for anything. Maybe the purpose of the movie is just to give you this weird, different experience and not tell a super traditional story. Maybe that's the style, which I don't have an issue with that type of storytelling. It's certainly unique and offers a different experience than you get most other places, so I don't have a problem with that necessarily. But hopefully maybe you guys can help me understand a little bit more, because comparing this with movies I've already watched on kind of the top rankings, like Shawshank, Godfather, those movies, I didn't enjoy this one as much as I enjoyed the others. Not to say I didn't enjoy watching this. It's just so different, and I don't know what I think about it. And so, yeah, it's just difficult for me to talk about it. I thought the way that scenes were handled, where it just kind of goes on for a little bit and you aren't sure what's happening, and then all of a sudden it jumps straight into either a shocking moment like shooting the guy in the car or something else. I thought that was a very effective way of doing a scene, because there's no way that me and probably most audience members expected that to happen. So the shock value definitely hit hard and hit effectively, so I can appreciate that directorial style. And I thought the acting overall was good, especially considering how many long takes there are with so many lines of dialogue to memorize. I don't know how many times they would have had to practice or shoot those scenes before they finally got it right, but there's definitely so much dialogue packed into such little time that credit the actors for doing so well with so much material. That must not have been easy to accomplish for them, and I don't know if all of Tarantino's movies are like that, where they're just packed full of so much dialogue. So it'll be interesting to see when I get around to other movies from him if it's similar or if this is just very different from even his usual style. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoyed watching my reaction to this, and if you'd like to watch along for the whole movie with me, definitely check out my Patreon link in the description. That's where you can find that, all the other full-length reactions for the things that I do on the channel. But I appreciate you watching to this point in the video. If you're still watching, if you enjoyed it, definitely consider leaving a thumbs up. That helps the channel out a lot, helps reach more people. So I appreciate you if you do that, and look forward to your comments, especially for this movie. I hope that I can learn a lot more about it from you guys. But until the next one, I will see you all later. Peace.